Okay, today we're going to take a look at the template drawing, which you can see I have started. So make sure you have your plans out and any notes on the fillet tool that we'll use for these 1 1/4 radiuses. When you first start, make sure you're starting with CAD borders. So you got to make sure you have your Google Drive loaded. So my Google Drive, I already have CAD borders saved in my Google Drive in my CAD 1 folder. If you don't have it in your Google Drive, you're going to have to get it from the shared drive, the Canvas page, or in the email I sent you. I'm going to start with construction layer. And also, before I even start the drawing, I need to save this as the template. So I'm going to go File, Save As. Make sure I'm saving to my Google Drive. So my Google Drive, my drive, CAD 1. And I'm going to save this as template. Okay, so I'm going to start with some lines just to draw my cross. I have a nice center point in the middle, so I need to draw a cross. So I'll use a construction line. I'll start about right here is good. I'll go over 14 is plenty, and then get another line about right there, and I'll go down. 12 1/4 is plenty. Again, those lines don't really matter. They just can't be super short or small. They got to be longer than your drawing, and there has to be just 2 lines. 1 vertical line and 1 horizontal line. So now I'm going to use my offset tool to get all my center points. The key dimension to start is going to be 2 1/8. I need to offset up 2 1/8, down 2 1/8, over 2 1/8 to the right, and over 2 1/8 to the left. So my offset tool, I do O, enter. Set my distance to 0.125, which is 2 1/8. And I'm going to click this vertical line here, click to the right, click this vertical line here, click to the left. I also want to go up and down. So click the horizontal, go up, click the horizontal, go down. Now, one other offset you'll need to do is 7/8. So we went up 2 1/8 to get up here, but now these ones are over 7/8 to the left and 7/8 to the right. So that's the next one I'll do. So again, O for offset, hit enter, type in my distance, which is 7/8 or 0.875, hit enter. And now I want to offset this vertical line to the right and then to the left. So now I have all my center points. I can grab a line just to check, okay, from here to this one should be 7/8 good, to that one should be 7/8. Going down should be 2 1/8. So again, it's always good to just check and make sure they're correct. Now I'll switch to visible layer, and I'm going to start drawing in my circles. I have the 5 small circles are 5/8 drill, which drill also means diameter. Same thing. So a 5/8 diameter. I have the big one in the middle. That's 2 1/2. So I'll start with those. Again, click the circle and make sure you're clicking diameter. We don't want radius at the moment. So diameter, I'll do the big one in the middle first. And that is going to be 2.5. And notice how I switched my layer. I'm now in visible layer. Take it another diameter. There's one here that is 5/8, which is also 0.625. Another diameter one here, 0.625. So I can keep doing that 3 more times, or I could really do one, click it, click my copy tool, which is right here. Select a base point, which would be the middle or the center of that circle. I click that. Now I can click, okay, I want to put one here. I want to put one there. Sometimes you got to zoom in, make sure you get in the right spot. And that's that last one down there. So that's the copy tool as well, which might be helpful. The next circles I'll need to get are the radius. Like for instance, this upper left corner is a 5/8 radius. This upper right corner is also a 5/8 radius. So you notice you have circles that are both 5/8, but one is a radius and one is a diameter. So let's get those two in. So now I need to make sure I'm using my radius circle, using the same center point, and I'm going to type in 5/8. And same thing on this side. Or I could have copied that one, 5/8. So notice I have two circles there. They're both 5/8. This little one is a 5/8 diameter, and the big one is a 5/8 radius. Now the big one I need to trim. I only need 1/4 of it. So you got to remember your trim tool. So that's TR enter. Select what you want to keep, your cutting lines. In this case, I want to do this and this. Enter. Now click what you want to get rid of. Same thing on the other side. TR enter. Click what you want to keep. Hit enter, and then click what you don't want. If you happen to do this, it's not going to let you trim that. If you go like in that order, it won't let you trim this last one because there's nothing to trim there. It's already been trimmed. So you would just click on it, and you can just delete it or use your eraser tool. And then from here, I can just connect a visible line like this across the top. Okay, a couple of other things we're going to do here. We need to get the left edge and the right edge. So the left edge and right edge are going to be 5.5 inches total. So I need to go 2 3/4 to the right and then 2 3/4 to the left. So that's half of 5.5. I want to get these two 1-inch lines here. So I'm going to offset. So O enter for offset. I'm going to set the offset to 2.75. Click this vertical line, go to the right. Click this vertical line, go to the left. And again, it's always good just grab a line really quick just to check it. So from here all the way to there, that should be 5.5. Good. And then those lines are 1 inch. So what I could do is I could go up 1/2 inch. And then I can go down 1 inch, I guess, since I'm already at the top. Now I can go down 1 inch. Then just be careful. You're going to have a second line in there. You could do this. You could click here, drag down to about right there, and you just have that one line there, and I can delete it. So same thing here. I'll go up 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to go down 1 inch. And I'm going to drag a box around that 1/2 inch line I drew and delete it. So I'm just left with one 1-inch line on each side. Okay, now we're going to use the fillet tool to do this curve. However, before we do that, we need to draw two lines. We need to draw one line here over to the right where it would intersect, like right here, if I came up to where this would go down. So right there, and then I'm going to go up. So it's kind of like an L shape. Same thing on the other side. This one I'll go down where it would meet, where this 1-inch line would meet here, and then I go over. So I have two lines there that kind of form an L. And if we look at our plans here, it curves, and the curve is 1 1/4 inch radius. So we're going to use the fillet tool, which will be very helpful on future drawings as well. The fillet tool is right here. It's a modify. It's part of the modify toolbar, and it's right here, the little curve. It rounds and fillets the edges of objects. You use this quite a bit in CAD. The shortcut for it, I think it's easier just to do the shortcut, which is F. You just type in F on the keyboard and hit enter. Now, but don't just start clicking things. Before you start clicking things, you need to set it up. Right now, if you look at the radius, it's set to 0. Again, AutoCAD does not know what size fillet you want. In this case, we want 1 1/4 inch. You know, AutoCAD does not know that, so we have to tell it. All right, so let's start that over. Okay, so F enter, R enter for radius. So we want a radius too. That's another thing we need to do. So F enter, we need to let it know that we want a radius. And in this case, the radius is still set to 0. So I'm going to click radius or R enter. Now I set the size, which is 1.25. See, if I started clicking things, nothing would happen because the size is set to 0. Set it to 1.25, hit enter, and I'm going to click this line, and then I click this line. It gives me my nice curved fillet right there. So let's do that again. F, enter, R, enter, and now you'll notice because I just did it, it's already set to 1.25. So I could just hit enter and click these two lines. Hit escape. Okay, now we got to do the bottom half. Let's get the very bottom of the part, which would be down here. I know that it's 4 7/8 from the center of these circles down to the very bottom. So I'm going to offset this line here down 4 7/8 to get to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do O for offset, 4.875, enter, and I'm going to click this line, and I want to go down. So now I have the bottom of the part, although I don't know the length of that line yet. But I do know that I have two 45-degree angles here. So if I can draw this line down at 45 degrees and then this line down at 45 degrees, it'll just intersect with this and I can trim. So watch how I'll do an angle here. We're not going to use the chamfer tool because I do not know the length. I only know the angle. In the previous two drawings, it gave us length and angle. This one, we're just given angle. So what we're going to do is use our line tool, and I can start here at this endpoint here, and I'm going to go down. Now notice that I have length. If you look at my command bar there, it says right now this line is 5.2738, and on the other side it says it's 59 degrees. See, I can kind of change this. Now I'm at 48 degrees. I'm at 4.868. Now I'm at 44 degrees and 4.50. So you could get it right at 45. However, don't assume it's exactly 45. It could be rounding. So what I recommend is hit Tab. Notice what Tab is doing right now. Tab is switching between length and angle. So what you want to do is make sure your line is long. Like, don't make a short line up here. You got to get at least past the bottom. Hit Tab, and then type in 45 and hit Enter. And now you just drew a line that's perfect. It's exactly at 45 degrees. Now this one here, same thing. We're going to start here. We're going to go down. But notice now here I'm at 4.59 and it's at 135. So you're going to have to do a little bit of math there. You're going to have to go 90 and you're going to have to add 45 degrees to that to figure out what the angle would be. Because if you think about it, you have a 360. If I did Tab and I did 45 again, it's going to go the other way, right? So you got to do a little bit of math on that to figure it out. So I'm going to do this, go here. I'm going to get past the bottom. I'm going to hit Tab. And if you did the math right, you figured out it's 135, hit Enter. So 135 would be the same as 45 on the other side. Now I can delete this one. Now all I have to do is draw a line from here to there and trim. So TR, Enter. I'm going to keep this purple line. Hit Enter, and I'm going to trim everything below that. This one, and then this one. And now my part is done. I can turn off my construction lines to see what I have. So there's the completed template drawing. And the next step would be to use the Annotate tab to do center marks and dimensions, which I will do in the next video.